The husky wouldn't stop staring at the toddler's chest. When Sarah finally understood why, her blood ran cold. For days, their new puppy had been fixated on one thing, the blue bear printed on her son's favorite yellow shirt. What seemed like an adorable quirk was actually a desperate warning. The discovery would send them racing to the emergency room, their 18-month-old son's life hanging in the balance because of something they dressed him in every single day. Before watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another heart-gripping story like this one. Sarah and Marcus had brought Luna home 3 weeks earlier. The silver-coated husky puppy was supposed to be a companion for their son, Ethan, a joyful addition to their growing family. And at first, everything seemed perfect. Luna was gentle, playful, exactly what they'd hoped for. But then, the strange behavior started. Every time Ethan wore his yellow shirt with the cheerful blue bear graphic across the chest, Luna would plant herself directly in front of him, not beside him, not playfully circling. Directly in front, her ice blue eyes locked on that bear, her black nose twitching frantically. "She's doing it again," Marcus said one morning, watching Luna sit rigid before Ethan as the toddler tried to eat his breakfast. The puppy wasn't begging for food. She wasn't even looking at Ethan's face, just that bear. "Maybe she doesn't like the color?" Sarah offered, though even she didn't believe it. Luna had no reaction to Ethan's other blue clothing. "Just this shirt." "It's weird, Sarah, really weird. She's a puppy, they do weird things." But Marcus's jaw tightened. This isn't normal puppy behavior. Look at her. Luna had begun to whine, a high-pitched, anxious sound that made Sarah's shoulders tense. The puppy nudged Ethan's chest with her nose, gentle but insistent, then looked up at Sarah with what could only be described as distress. "Marcus, she's fine. She's probably just what? Obsessed with a shirt graphic?" His voice rose. "I've been watching her. She only does this with that specific shirt. Not the blue pants, not the blue blanket, just that bear." Sarah felt her own frustration mounting. They were both exhausted, adjusting to the puppy on top of everything else. "So what do you want me to do? Throw away his favorite shirt because our dog has a weird fixation?" "I want you to take this seriously." Ethan started crying, startled by his father's raised voice. Luna's whining intensified, her paws now scratching gently at the bear graphic as if trying to remove it. "Great, just great," Sarah snapped, scooping Ethan up. "You're scaring him." That night, after Ethan was asleep, Sarah stood in the laundry room staring at the yellow shirt. Something about Luna's behavior had burrowed under her skin. The puppy's anxiety wasn't playful or random. It was targeted, specific, almost frantic. On impulse, she pulled out her phone and searched for the shirt's brand. It was from a popular children's clothing line they'd bought from months ago. She scrolled through the website, then switched to a general search. Her thumb froze over the screen. There, buried in a consumer safety forum, was a thread from 6 weeks ago. Someone asking if anyone else had received a recall notice for children's shirts from this brand. Sarah's heart began to pound as she clicked through. The recall was small, unpublicized. Only certain batch numbers. Something about the blue dye used in graphic prints containing trace amounts of a chemical compound that could cause severe skin irritation and, in prolonged exposure, more serious reactions. The company had quietly contacted purchasers of record, but Sarah had bought this shirt at a clearance sale. No record, no notice. Her hands shaking, she grabbed the shirt and found the tag. She compared the batch number to the list in the forum. Perfect match. "Marcus!" Her voice cracked. "Marcus, get in here." He appeared in the doorway, alarm crossing his face at her expression. "What? What is it?" "The shirt. Luna was right about the shirt." She thrust her phone at him, her words tumbling out. "There was a recall. The blue dye, it's toxic. She could smell it. Dogs can smell chemical compounds we can't even detect. She was trying to warn us." Marcus's face went white as he read the screen. "How long has he been wearing this?" "I don't know. Weeks. It's his favorite. He wears it constantly." Her voice broke. "Oh God, Marcus, what if?" They were already moving, racing up the stairs to Ethan's room. Sarah flipped on the light, her heart hammering so hard she thought she might be sick. Marcus lifted their son from the crib, and Ethan whimpered in confused protest. "His chest," Marcus said, his voice hollow. "Sarah, look at his chest." She pulled up Ethan's pajama top, and the world tilted. A rash. faint but unmistakable, spreading across Ethan's chest in the exact shape of where the bear graphic would sit. The skin was inflamed, slightly raised, and when Sarah touched it gently, Ethan flinched. No, 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 she whispered. The rash wasn't new. How had they missed this? But she knew how. Ethan was 18 months old, constantly getting minor bumps and scrapes and mysterious toddler marks. They'd attributed it to anything else, everything else. We need to go, Marcus said, already grabbing his keys. Now. The emergency room lights were brutally bright. Sarah held Ethan while a pediatric dermatologist examined the rash, asked questions, took notes. When Sarah explained about the recalled dye, about the chemical compound, the doctor's expression grew grave. You said he's been wearing this shirt regularly for how long? 3 weeks, maybe 4, Sarah said, her throat closing. We didn't know. We didn't see the recall. If our dog hadn't, she couldn't finish. The doctor looked up sharply. Your dog alerted you to this? Marcus nodded, his hand gripping Sarah's shoulder. She wouldn't stop trying to get our attention. Staring at the graphic, whining, nudging it, we thought she was just being weird. Dogs have 40 times more scent receptors than humans, the doctor said quietly. They can detect chemical compounds in concentrations we can't even measure. Your dog likely smelled the irritant every time your son wore that shirt. Is he going to be okay? Sarah's voice was barely a whisper. The doctor examined the rash more closely. The exposure was prolonged, but the concentration appears low. We'll run some tests, but I believe we caught this before any systemic absorption. The rash should heal with topical treatment. She paused. You're very lucky. Another few weeks of exposure, and we could be looking at chemical burns or worse. Sarah's knees buckled. Marcus caught her, held her, as the full weight of what almost happened crashed over them both. They'd almost ignored Luna, almost dismissed her warnings as annoying puppy behavior. Marcus had even suggested just that morning that maybe they should crate her more often to stop the obsessive behavior. If it hadn't been for your dog, the doctor continued, you might not have discovered this until the damage was much more severe. Animals have instincts. Only beginning to understand. She knew something was wrong. 4 hours later, they returned home with Ethan sleeping peacefully in his car seat, medicated and monitored. The yellow shirt was sealed in a plastic bag, evidence for the report they'd file with consumer safety. Luna met them at the door, her tail wagging uncertainly. She approached Ethan's carrier carefully, sniffing, then sat back with what looked like relief. The frantic energy was gone. Sarah knelt beside the puppy, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry, she whispered, burying her face in Luna's soft fur. You were trying to tell us. You were trying to protect him, and we almost didn't listen. Luna licked her face, then gently nosed toward Ethan, her tail wagging properly now. Marcus crouched beside them, his hand on Luna's head. Good girl, he said, his voice thick. Such a good girl. Over the following days, as Ethan's rash faded and the story spread through their neighborhood, Sarah found herself watching Luna with new eyes. The puppy hadn't been obsessed or anxious. She'd been vigilant, protective. She'd detected a threat invisible to human senses and had tried every way she knew how to communicate the danger. Sarah had called the shirt company, reported the incident. Apparently, their case was one of several. The recall would be expanded, publicized. Other children would be protected because Luna had refused to give up. She's not just a pet, Sarah told Marcus one evening, watching Luna sleep beside Ethan's crib, her role as guardian fully embraced. She's family. She saved him. Marcus nodded, his arm around his wife. We almost didn't trust her instincts, but we did. Eventually, we did. Sometimes the most profound dangers are the ones we dress our children in, invisible threats hiding in plain sight behind cheerful graphics and bright colors. We trust our eyes, our logic, our human understanding of the world. But there are guardians among us with senses beyond our comprehension, speaking a language we're only beginning to hear. The line between safety and catastrophe can be as thin as a shirt, as quiet as a puppy's whine, as easy to dismiss as behavior we don't immediately understand. What we cannot see can still harm us, but what we choose to trust, even when we don't understand it, can save us. If this story opened your eyes to the unseen dangers around us and the unlikely heroes who protect us from them, don't forget to like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Share it with friends and family, because sometimes the warning signs come not in words, but in the persistent love of those who see what we cannot.